You've got no friends and it's killing you. So I was watching a YouTube video recently of a new YouTuber that's started, and he was talking about how he didn't have any friendships anymore, and how that was largely because he felt like he couldn't trust people anymore. And I think that really resonated with me. That's something that I've been feeling a lot lately too, where a lot of my friendships, I guess I could still call those people friends, but I wouldn't say that they were active friendships, in that we get together and talk and catch up and do things together anymore. For myself, I think it's not so much a thing of trusting people in the sense that people will outright betray you. I think it's more in the sense of trusting people in terms of the social contract of friendship. So what do I mean by that? Well, I think as you get older, you have to really take stock of your energy and what you're putting out into the world and what you're getting back. And I know for me, with a lot of my male friendships, it's come to the point where I just have so little energy these days, because I'm struggling to be motivated and make it through the day myself. I find that when I reach out sometimes to talk to my friends, it feels like a therapy session, and not just a therapy session, but a one-way therapy session. I called a friend recently that I hadn't called in a while. And the main reason I hadn't called him was because whenever he called me, he'd always be asking for things. He'd always have these crazy plans. So I'm a musician, or I used to be a musician. I don't really play anymore, except for my own enjoyment. But we used to play in a band together, and he'd always be calling me, wanting me to join these bands that he'd joined. And I'd explained to him many times that I really wasn't interested. But then he'd call up again and he'd give me this story about how great things were going to be, and I'd sort of say, "Oh, look, I'll give it a go." And eventually I just stopped responding to him, to the point where I did block him for a while there. And, I felt terrible about it, because I consider him a friend, but I don't know if he considers me a friend or just someone that is useful to him, if you know what I mean. So recently I was in the middle of training for this job that I'm now doing, but he called me up, and I was concerned because I knew that his mother had been unwell. And I thought, oh, look, he called and he left me this message asking to ring him back. And I thought, something's happened, so I better call him back. So I called him back straight away. He was drunk when I called him. That was never a good sign. But then he wanted me to basically perform at some jam night thing, and I was like, oh, well, it sounds like it could be a possibility, but there are all these other problems that we would need to deal with in terms of places to practice and all that sort of logistical stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. And then I just never really got back to him, because I'm busy, and I don't want to spend my time anymore chasing other people's dreams, if that makes any sense. I think I found myself in the past in situations where I've sacrificed my own wants and needs and put my own time and energy into things that have ended up, that I thought were my goals and desires, but end up being overtaken or overridden by other people. And also realize that I'm easily led. And I hate to admit that, but I am easily led sometimes. And, you know, if I think it's going to be a good situation overall, then I'll go along with it. But I've come to realise, probably since the last couple of years, since I've turned about 45, that I need to protect my own energy and my own peace. And so I think along with that, I've come to a new realisation that I need to focus on my own goals, because I think you get to a point in life where you realise that you're just running out of time. And that if you don't put your energy into making things happen for you, they're just not going to happen. So I also have another friend, and he's a great friend, and he's always been really supportive. But when I talk to him, it's just very depressive. And I hate to say that. And when I leave, when we finish talking and he leaves, I just feel down, like I have no energy. So I think those are a couple of things that really end up killing friendships as you get older. I think giving more than you get, and also just having your energy drained. Yeah, I'm not saying these people are bad people, but I think that's the thing too. If you're a person that's more giving than taking, and you are a bit of a people pleaser, I think you find yourself at a certain point just getting burnt out with friendships. And I think this is also much more a male problem, because, I don't know, women seem to have no problem being friends with people, even if they don't like them, or even if they're bad situations, they just always seem to have friends. I think it's a gender thing where they need that social connection far more. And I think men need it too, but we have much fewer social constructs and situations these days to help facilitate and strengthen those friendships. A lot of the things that I've been into in my life, whether that be music or different hobbies, have all sort of fallen to the wayside in the past 10 years. And more I'm finding that the only way that I connect with other men or other people in general is online. And that's sad to say, but it is true. And I don't know what the solution is, honestly. I know for myself, like between work and other commitments, trying to find time for myself alone is a full-on challenge, to be quite frank. And then to give up some of that peace and that time and energy to someone else is just, it's such a hard ask these days. And I wish it wasn't. I wish I had those sort of easy friendships that I had in my 20s and even my early 30s, but that just isn't the case anymore. So let me know, have you experienced the same sort of thing? Have you found any solutions? I'm not sure what the solution is for this, to be honest. It worries me, but I haven't found any good strategies to sort of counteract this trajectory in my life. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Please leave some comments down below and let me know if you're getting anything out of the videos and what your thoughts on the topic are. And I'll see you on the next one.